So tell me why you got involved with Rhyl Raptors.
It started a few years ago. I heard about the sessions by chance that they were starting up, and I just thought, and me and my parents thought, I'll give it a go. And to start with, it was really just for fun. And then as things progressed and I progressed, it became, I got invited to the local league team and started playing in Division 2, and then eventually started playing for Wales. And really what started out as a kind of we'll give it a go has become a big part of my life and has really helped me in various aspects of my life.
Tell me how it's helped you in your general life.
It's definitely given me a much bigger social life than I otherwise had. Because it's given me somewhere to go, it's given me something to do, which I had before, but not in the same way. And it's also helped me with my physical well-being, because it keeps me fit and it keeps me active. It's helped my health also.
How did it feel when you realised you were going to play for Wales?
It was quite surreal, really, because it was relatively early on in my playing career. I mean, it was about a year into my playing career, so it was very surreal to think that they would want me on the national team. And the first game I ever played for Wales was it was daunting. It was very daunting indeed, but it was really, I think, the moment when I really got hooked on the competition side of it and wanting to progress in that way, because the feeling of competing, and especially competing for your country, is something you can't really get anywhere else.
Right, so tell me what it is. I mean, obviously there's a lot of love for the sport. You can tell that by speaking to people who are involved with the club. What is it particularly about it that draws you to it? Why do you love it so much?
I think the atmosphere of a club is a big aspect of why I love the sport, because that social side of it, and the fact that everyone really wants the club to succeed, is really helps with the atmosphere and makes everyone a lot more positive. And it's nice to be in an atmosphere where everyone is positive about what you can do and not just what you can't do, because without giving you a sob story, I spend a lot of time being told what I can't do, and it's lovely to be in a position where I'm focusing on what I can do.
Do you feel then that it focuses on abilities rather than disabilities?
Oh, certainly it is. It's all about ability and what you can bring to the sport and to the club, regardless of what impairment you may have. You may not have an impairment at all. There are several able-bodied players that play, and it's very much based on the sport, and it's a focus on the sport and what you can do in that regard.
Right, Mike, I was just talking to Dylan about the sport, and one thing that struck me was him talking about the personal battles that he's had and how much we concentrate here on the sport, how much coming here, the social side of things, meeting people, being with people of a similar mind, has helped him in his own life. You know, I mean, how much of a part of it is that?
To be honest with you, it's a massive part. If anything, that's probably what makes what we do here, as attractive as it is to so many people. Because, although it's wheelchair basketball and play here, that's not really what people get out of it. It's so much more. It's like you say, the social interaction and being around people who've been through similar issues and maybe a little bit further down the line, or if you've got like a life-changing injury, or something's happened in your life that stops you doing what you want to do, and then you find something where it's an outlet for you. And not only that, but you've got people who can sort of help you down the road a little bit and help you with ideas and ways to get over certain issues, and you know, just and the general banter, you know, being able to sort of have a laugh at yourself, really. And everyone knows about like the rugby club mentality, and that's the sort of thing I've tried to bring in here, really. That no one takes themselves too seriously. If you do something daft, then everyone's gonna laugh at you. But if you take it on the chin, and next time someone else is someone else does something daft within a few minutes. So you know, no grudge is held. Everyone comes out of here with a smile on the face.
One thing that Dylan said that really struck me was that when he's here, it's a refreshing thing for him for people to focus on what he can do rather than what he can't do.
Yeah.
You know, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, in Dylan's case, he's a classic example. I mentioned earlier about the classification system within our sport. Dylan is a one-point player, which is a player that's got the most visibility, but quite often he's the most influential player on court, because the work he does is noticed by everyone else on court. People think that if you come into our sport as an able-bodied person, you're going to have all the advantages and you're going to be able to do so much more than everyone else. And then a guy like Dylan comes along, nothing of him, little guy, don't really notice. But on the court, he causes so much trouble and mayhem that he's a real eye-opener for people to realise that in many ways, it changes their view of disability and what people are capable of. It's the can-do, as opposed to what the disability is.
I expect in that respect, the chair's a great leveller though, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. When we do sessions for schools or such, like, the guys that come in who are the sporty guys, they think, this would be great, I'll this. Put them in a chair, and, things are totally different. They come away from the sessions thinking, that's a different way of thinking, different way of moving, having to do so many things at once, stop, start, turn, catch, pass, shoot, and it sort of takes out the comfort zone a lot of the time. And so, yeah, the chair's a massive equaliser.
We were talking about the fact you've got you've won the Development League, and there's the Celtic Warriors in Wrexham who are in the National League. Are there any plans for Rhyl Raptors to have a National League side and move up that step?
Yeah, I mean, we've made we've not hidden the fact at all, really. The whole idea of having a club here in Rhyl, and then as well as us, we have another club next door, Conway, that's developed over the last 12 months as well. And then beyond them, there's a club over in Gwynedd. So we've got 4 now across the North Wales coast. In Rhyl, we've always said that our idea is that we develop and then eventually get our National League team in place. So all being well, next year, we're hoping to put a 3rd Division team in to back up this year's Development League team. So there's a pathway for players to sort of play at the level that's most appropriate, really.
So I suppose the higher the level, you're going to get more Dylans who represent the country and bring more focus to the area and the sport around here, I suppose. Yeah,
I mean, one area that we really want to work on is obviously the youth element, bringing the youth juniors through, getting them to Wales on the 15s level, under 19s level. And then at the other extreme, you've got guys, we know in the area that maybe have just come back from overseas, from forces, and, life-changing injuries. And we know they're out there, and we know they're competitive people, and we know they're sort of getting over major things, but we want to try and encourage them to come along as well, because it is a massive outlet for them as well to get into competitive sport again and doing something physical. So both ends of the extremes, really. The youngsters and the guys who have had life-changing injuries, guys and girls. We want to track them all, and out of that we'll get a melting pot of talent. And the higher the standard we can offer them to play, the more competitive it will be.
So I suppose in much the same way as the old campaign about don't just see the chair, see the person. It's don't just see the sport. See what else it can do as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And all the parents that are involved in the club now, they help run the club, all the committees, they do all the backroom stuff, helping out off court. They've seen the difference in whoever it is from their family that's come along and got involved. They've seen the way that their life has changed, away from the sport. And as a direct result of that, they're investing more and more time in the club. And I think that's the message we want to get across to people, that it's not just about the sport. It's about the whole package, really, of what we're trying to offer.
I suppose in a way for the families as well. I mean, it's easy to overlook them. I suppose it gives some sort of respite as well, doesn't it, from normal life? I suppose in a way.
Yeah, I mean, we've got you can see tonight there's people stood around the court. Mums, dads. We always try and encourage everyone to get involved and come along. And it's such a good thing to watch that people are actually coming just to watch training. Which is not many clubs can really say that. That they're getting an audience just to watch them train. So you can see it's all all the evidence is there. Really.
Usually just Real Madrid and Barcelona, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, if you get a couple of thousand turning up, you might need to look at the new menu. But,